ist in der Nähe von Nürnberg geboren. Er lebt in Aalen, ist 50 Jahre alt und er hat sich gestern einen großen Traum erfüllt. Vor 2 Jahren noch gedacht, vielleicht sogar aufzuhören mit Darts. Und gestern hat er es geschafft, sich zum ersten Mal hier für die große Bühne zu qualifizieren. Ein toller Erfolg für ihn. Und er hat mir heute Vormittag noch gesagt, du, nervös bin ich eigentlich gar nicht. Und eben kam er zu mir und sagte, weißt du was, jetzt bin ich richtig nervös. Ich glaube, ihr könnt ihm helfen durch einen herzlichen Empfang. Die Rede ist von Manfred Bilderl. Manfred Bilderl tritt an gegen einen Mann aus Wales. Er ist 43 Jahre alt, ist die aktuelle 42 der PDC. Und er hat bislang eine verdammt gute Woche hinter sich, denn er hat seinen allerersten PDC Pro Tour Sieg eingefahren. Herzlich willkommen, the Ferret, Johnny Clayton!
It's fairly safe to say that had Manfred Bilderl been given the opportunity to handpick his opponent for his first ever match on the European Tour in front of his home crowd, then I'm sure he wouldn't have gone for this man. Johnny Clayton, a man who claimed his maiden PDC title with a victory in Players' Championship 22 in Barnsley on Wednesday, beating James Wilson 6-1 in the final with a superb display of finishing, it has to, becoming the 15th different winner in 22 Players' Championship events this year. Beating, on the way, Terry Jenkins, 9-time TV finalist, Rob Cross, the man who's made such a sensational transition to the PDC Tour this year, and also Darren Webster to reach the quarterfinals, where he overcame Antonio Alcinas and then Jeffrey Zaman in the semis. This is a baptism of fire for Manfred Bilderl, the 50-year-old from Nuremberg, and a man who came through 4 rounds of qualifying. What an occasion it is for him. He is really up against it. The only one concern, Paul Nicholson, perhaps, is that Johnny Clayton, having achieved the euphoria of that first title on Wednesday in Barnsley, may well just be on a bit of a downer now. It depends how much it took out of him. Maybe a little bit jaded, travelling over here. We shall see.
There are a lot of players here this weekend who are absolutely knackered. I will say that. That includes myself. We've been very busy the last few weeks. Johnny Clayton has a very real case for being quite tired, but what he's got to do is he's got to ride the adrenaline. Talk about an adrenaline. What a start from Manfred Bilderl. Welcome to the European Tour.
Well, well, well. Clayton looking to respond.
140.
Well, arguments are getting thrown out the window there. I mean, a lot of people would say that this is a very one-sided match, but we've been trying to dissect, haven't we, over the last 10 minutes about Manfred. Now, when he was starting his walk-on, I just wanted to give him a cuddle. 45. He looked very emotional. He looked very proud to be here, and why not? You should be proud. But you're right, it's a nasty little draw, isn't it, against Johnny Cash?
100.
I think Bilderl may have preferred a nighttime session as well, when we are expected to have an increase in numbers in the crowd
85.
here. But Bilderl with the honour, I suppose, of being the first of the host nation qualifiers to take to the stage today. The other qualifiers from Germany, including
40.
last night Rene Idams coming through, Robert Allenstein, Nico Blum, the 16-year-old, and of course Martin Schindler as well. The big high-profile absentee there, of course, Max Hopp, the German #1, not making it through. Bilderl has found the treble 20 once again, though.
Doesn't want to go there again. The likelihood is he would have knocked that other dart out is very precarious.
140.
But he's in command in this leg, unless some characteristic finishing from Johnny would have stolen
100.
it. But Manfred should get 2 darts of double to take his first leg.
Yeah, we'll talk about Clayton's finishing in that final in Barnsley in just a moment or two. We'll see just how this pans out. 2 goes at top 7 for Bilderl. Ooh, well, that one's nearer the outer ring of the board. Almost hit the lights.
50.
And that one was only
Johnny
just closer.
40.
A lot of tension in those 2 darts, I feel there, Paul.
A little bit of shaky-itis. Double 10. Double 5.
35.
Well, Clayton's not got his
Manfred
finishing boots on
requires
yet either,
40.
it would seem. Bilderl with another chance here. Maybe those first two attempts have calmed him down. Well, he's gone the other way. Double 10 then for a break of throw. That's closer. And
20.
that's a bounce out as
Johnny,
well.
you require 5.
Well, this could be a 19, 20, 21 dart, sorry, 20 dart hold of throw here for Johnny Clayton.
Game shot on the first leg. Johnny
I just get
Clayton.
the feeling that Johnny Clayton may have done that 3 double 1 shot quite a lot in the last few months. Now, the way his darts sit, I would have said 1 double 2 for sure, but he obviously prefers double 1. He won't be happy with that first leg, Johnny, but he
60.
knows that against this opponent, he's just got to do enough.
Yeah. It's a difficult match, this, for Clayton. He's expected to win. He's an odds-on favourite to
100.
beat the host nation qualifier. And if he does, people will say, well, fair enough, you know, there's nothing on that. And if he doesn't, he's on a hiding to nothing. But nothing can take away from what Johnny Clayton achieved in midweek on Wednesday, beating
96.
James Wilson in that final in Barnsley. But it was the finishing that really caught the eye in that match. A 120 finish in leg 4.
60.
And then he took out 102 for a 4-1 lead. He had a very nice 84 2-dart combination to leave himself 5-1 up, and then 1-2-1 on the bull in the last leg as well.
140.
Now, Bilderl hit a 180 in the first leg. It ultimately didn't count for too much. Needs to make the most of it here on his throw.
100.
Yes, he does, because Johnny Clayton's not going to give him too much. A little bit of a shaky start from both players, but just get the feeling that with Johnny's current form, he's going to get better. And I've got to say
26.
this because Johnny Clayton, amongst the top players in the world, I don't know of anybody who is
100.
as respected at his level right now as Johnny Clayton is. Gary Anderson is an enormous fan of Johnny Clayton. He thinks he is top shelf.
43.
And that's been reflected in the latest world
41.
rankings as well. He's up to number 42 in the order of merit. 26 on the Pro Tour order of merit as well. As a result
60.
of his recent
Manfred, you
exploits.
require 136.
Has done other stuff on the Pro Tour this year as well. A few quarterfinals here and there. 3 in succession, I think, in April and May. So you could argue, you know, he had been threatening this good run.
96. Johnny
He
require
pulled it out when he
81.
needed it the most, right in the very last tournament of the year.
Now, this is what he does. Didn't go for the single
shot
because
on
he
the
knew
second
he was
leg.
going to hit it.
Johnny Clayton.
That's an astonishing show of
Johnny
confidence.
to throw first. Game on.
Wow. Didn't go for single and bull because he knew he was going to hit the other ones. That is amazing from Johnny Clayton.
60.
Yeah, Johnny Clayton, of course, Champion of Champions winner. 2016. Almost 2017 as well. Nearly defended his title. Stopped.
137.
And the winner of that one was Paul Hogan. One thing that people like to do with Johnny
58.
Clayton is when you watch him, you just know what you're going to get. His rhythm is metronomic. It never changes. And it's a style that sort of baffles me a little bit. Very much like
60.
Terry Jenkins. I don't know whether he likes to put the darts underneath each other or over the top.
Well, from this particular angle, we might get a good indication.
100.
A bit of everything there.
He has the ability to do both, which is very rare in this darting atmosphere. But I think that's one of the reasons why people like to watch him.
Well, Bilderl again looking at a 180. You know, he's found one in each leg now, but this is where he needs to make it pay. He's down to a finish of 124 on the Clayton throw. But Bilderl with 1 or 2 question marks about his finishing so far. And just when the pressure's on, when he gets within touching distance, that's when he starts to buckle. Treble 18.
Well, if he'd have hit that treble 18, he didn't have to go for the
56.
bullseye, but he might have fancied it just to give this crowd something to shout about.
Yeah, just to get them on side and give them a bit of a lift.
45. Manfred, you require 68.
Now, a lot of different ways you can do this. Is he going to go the conventional 60 route? Of course. 4. Double four still.
Oh,
64.
Well, once again, the doubts
Johnny
creeping in. And I'll tell you what, the way Clayton's been
141.
finishing lately, I wouldn't be surprised if he took this out. Needs the treble 20. Doesn't get it. So Bilderl will be back.
Just 64.
93. Manfred, you
Just in
require
case
4.
Manfred can't take this awkward double two.
Yeah, Manfred could be in the madhouse here. Oh, he's
In
not.
shot on the third leg.
And he breaks.
Manfred Bilderl.
For a 2-1 deficit.
Manfred to first. Game on.
And suddenly it's all rosy in the German garden once again. No need to press any panic buttons just yet for Johnny Clayton, but Bilderl, I think that might do him the world of good, actually, just to get that first leg on the board, and that might just liberate him a little bit.
And sometimes it's a really
42.
good thing when you're playing a host nation qualifier for them to play well, because it gets you to play well. You don't want them to have a really nervy performance and you to echo that.
45.
You want them to play well because it eggs you on. And I've just noticed something as well. Johnny Clayton's got new darts. Watching him earlier this season, he had battered ones, real trust me darts from
67.
the last few years, but he's got new tungsten, new stems and in colour and material and new flights.
30.
It's no coincidence.
Well, the new tungsten and the new flights didn't really do him any favours there. Only 30 scored for Clayton here. Just as well that Bilderl really hasn't got out of the blocks in this particular. And once again, he's struggling to find a treble.
59.
Well, Johnny Clayton has a perfect record on the European Tour this year. He's played 4 first-round
140.
matches and he's won all of them. Trouble is, he's lost all 4 second-round matches as well. It's a record he is capable of improving upon. He certainly is a
85.
last-day player, a third-round player if Wednesday is anything to go by.
100.
But he
some of
has,
the-
I was just going to say, he has had the habit of coming up against good players in round 2. Simon Whitlock, Joe Cullen, Chizzy and Daryl Gurney in Vienna earlier this year as well. So
Yeah, they're not bad, are they?
he's not really had the rub of the green in terms of, you know, meeting other
42.
qualifiers or whatever. He's never had any such luck in that particular aspect.
Well, Johnny Clayton wants to be in that bracket of those players like Whitlock, Gurney, and the people coming through.
150.
Maybe he is the next one to be uttered about. Is it going to be this week? Could it be next season?
60.
Is it
Johnny
time for Johnny
require
Clayton to
36.
make his assault in the top 32? Double 18. No flinches. Right off of double 9.
18. Manfred
misses
require 146.
That I can only attribute to the fact that it has been a very busy week. Will this go out? 146.
Ooh.
Did the right thing, I feel, going for that 60 to leave double 13.
134.
But Johnny's got to
Johnny
get this.
require 18.
Can't give any more ammunition to the crowd. That looks like a great guide.
Oh,
10 scored.
well, he's left
Manfred,
himself
you
double 4,
require
but
12.
Bilderl here may be on the verge of getting his reward for plugging away. And now the crowd find their voice once again. Double 6 for Bilderl. That one's further away.
No score.
Well, if the double 6 was about an inch to the right, he would have hit it 3 times.
Johnny, you require 8.
Johnny wants the double 2 to the north of double 6. How do you get in there?
No score.
That's unbelievable.
Manfred,
3.
you require 12.
Right on the fence. He's had some practice at it. Double 6. The Ashdown double 3.
Ooh, awkward pitch as well.
9 scored. Johnny, you require 8.
Got it
Game
this
shot
time.
of the 4th leg.
And a sigh of relief from Johnny Clayton.
5th leg is Johnny to
And
throw
he
first.
He's
Game on.
playing a match now that he will think to himself, today's Friday. I've had the best day of my career about less than 48 hours ago. This is a funny old game, this darts, isn't it?
135.
It's all on the day. A lot of people say that in interviews, don't they? It's all on the day. Fridays are very different to Wednesdays. And I think it's fascinating that Johnny said in his
45.
post-match interview that he wished that all of the Pro Tours are in the week on Wednesdays and Tuesdays because he had a great week this week.
81.
I'm not sure that's going to happen, Johnny, but you never know.
How do you think that worked out by and large? Was it a good move? I mean, it was all
59.
brought about by the fact that we had the introduction of the German Masters, the German Darts Masters World Series event next week, and we had to accommodate that final Players' Championship. But the fact that we had a midweek schedule, did the players like that?
Some of them did, some of them didn't. I think because we're so conditioned to feel certain ways on Saturdays and Sundays, as we see another 180 from Bilderl. We'll come back to that in a minute, because 105 will see Johnny Clayton take a 4-1 lead. Double 16.
89.
I will be back.
But yeah, a lot of people were saying on the Tuesday, for instance, it felt like a Saturday. On the Wednesday, it felt like a Sunday. We're so conditioned to feel certain ways
on
after
certain
day
days,
one and day two. But
Johnny
some players liked
16.
it, some players didn't. But Johnny Clayton definitely liked Wednesday. And he's liking this Friday a little bit more now that he's 4-1 up.
Six-legged Manfred to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, again, not totally convincing on the doubles for Johnny Clayton here, but it's more than enough so far. 25 dart break in leg 4. A hold there for 4-1.
58.
And despite Bilderl winning leg 3, it looks to be Clayton's match to lose here.
78.
Yeah, we've already talked about playing on different days of the week. One thing that Johnny Clayton and all of the pros, when they're starting their career or getting better like he
60.
is, they're trying to just get used to playing in different atmospheres. Now, speaking of Keegan Brown after his win this afternoon, and he said it was quite quiet out there.
140.
My first response to that was, it'll be a little bit different tomorrow. So that's one thing you've got to get used to with the European Tour. Potentially a quiet game on a Friday afternoon, but a rambunctious game on a Saturday.
40.
Because this place is going to be chock-a-block.
Further incentive for Clayton as well is that should he win this, it would set up a meeting with Gerwyn Price in the second round tomorrow, and that would, of course, evoke memories of their meeting in the World Championship at the end of last year. Now, that was Clayton's highlights of his career
59,
up until
Johnny
Wednesday. I suspect it
103.
may well be a different story now. Clayton here looking at 103. He's now looking at 43. And he's now looking at double 16.
71.
But he will be back again.
He just looks a little bit better over the last couple of legs, Johnny Clayton. He looks like he's just found something. And Bilderl just cannot live with him.
94. Johnny require 32.
By the way, we do have something of a derby going on here. I
Aim shot on
should
the
mention this
leg.
because Clayton
Johnny
is potentially
Clayton.
1 leg away.
We've got
the ferret against the beaver.
Game on.
Well,
Forgot to mention it at the outset of this match that Manfred Bilderl is known as the beaver. Not sure why.
well, we're about to find out who wins between a ferret and a beaver.
Whether he builds dams in his spare time, I'm not sure.
That's the beautiful thing about darts. Again, you get incredible battles that you would never get in Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. Now, Super Chin versus the Iceman. That sounds like something from Mortal Kombat. Ferret against the beaver.
It looks as though the 50-year-old from Nuremberg is on the verge of going out here.
But this is good progress for Manfred, isn't it? Because he's gradually getting better. I know he's no spring chicken.
28.
Or spring Hähnchen, as they say in Germany. But the thing is, he has got better over the last few years. He mentioned to me earlier that he only started playing darts in his late 20s.
Yeah, that's right. So he's playing catch-up as far as that's concerned. Has reached the final of the soft-tip NDA World Championship on a couple of occasions. And more recently,
59.
the most notable success was his qualification for the German Super League. He finished 10th in his first year in 2016, and then he finished 12th this time around as well. So that will only serve him well should he stick with it and stay in that company.
Well, finishing that high up in the Super League, I think is a great achievement. Because
100.
the talent in Germany is getting better. All you got to do is look at who's at the top of that Super League now. Genuine world-class players.
Yeah, and it's that Super League that determined the qualifiers for
100.
the World Series event next weekend. Rene Burns just missed out. I think on leg difference or something like that.
Oh, that
so
sucks.
You know, some good players did miss out. Players we have seen on the European Tour stage on a more regular basis missed out, and Bilderl, in that respect, was in good company. 1-2-2 then for Johnny Clayton for a place in the last 32 here.
56
on
left.
hold, 56 remaining, yep.
Yeah, Rene Burns had a bit of a heartbreaking few weeks, hasn't he? First in Maastricht, losing that game to Jimi Hendrix, and now losing out on a place at the German Masters by leg difference. That is brutal. But these things we have to learn to get better.
70.
And Johnny Clayton has tops to finish off Manfred Bilderl.
He certainly does. His finishing has not been totally convincing today, and once again he's struggling to find the target.
30.
And it's not to be this time as well. Now Bilderl, if he can take out this 1-4-2, you sense it would be delaying the inevitable, but it would be another feather in his cap here.
2 treble 17s will leave tops. This is the only way to get a 1-4-2. 74 remain. And that's good darts.
110.
Sets it up
Johnny
nicely.
require
He'll
10.
leave himself double 16 in case Clayton fluffs his lines. He split that sensibly. Back to double 2.
6 scored. Manfred, you require 32.
Well, by virtue of that lovely setup shot of 110, Bilderl can give the crowd another shout. Only if he hits double 16. Right over the top of the first dart.
16. Johnny, you require 4.
Well, Johnny Clayton, 5 from 21 on his doubles so far today. Make that 5 from 22. 23. And with the 24th darter to double, Johnny Clayton gets over the line. 6-1 looks emphatic, and it is an emphatic scoreline, but Johnny Clayton knows there is plenty of room for improvement there, especially with his finishing. There was absolutely nothing wrong with his finishing on Wednesday in Barnsley when he secured his first Pro Tour title. And even though he has come through that one relatively unscathed, it's certainly a case of job done here for Johnny Clayton. It's a case of getting through your first round match, and indeed he does set up a meeting with his fellow Welshman Gerwyn Price in the second round tomorrow. A rematch of their encounter at Ali Pali at the World Championship at the end of last December. Bilderl, first host nation qualifier, is on his way home. Jordi Meeuwissen and Jamie Caven, another informed man, on the way next.
But yeah, it's hard to get going, but in the end I got there.
It was his very first match on the stage. That's a difficult one, huh?
Oh, definitely, definitely, because all the pressure basically is on Manfred, because it's his first time on stage in front of his own crowd. So it is going to be difficult, yes, definitely.
What kind of experience was winning your first PDC title?
Brilliant, brilliant. Obviously, it's still on a high. Yeah, I just hope it follows on, yeah.
Full of confidence.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. See you tomorrow again. Thank you very much. Johnny Clayton. Der sagt, das ist natürlich für Manfred eine schwere Partie.